Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Tom LaHue, and I want to thank you for joining me today. And in the description below is a link to my website, tomlahue.com, where you can book coaching appointments and Enneagram coaching appointments or marriage, relationship, whatever I can do to help. Also on my website is a link to the certificate programs, the training that I offer. We have lots of different programs on Zoom, and I would love for you, if you're interested in the Enneagram and you want to learn more about it and how to use it, check out one of those programs. And thanks to my patrons, I really appreciate your support. I know you don't have to do it, and I'm thankful. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about type 4s, and I want to just relay a conversation I had with somebody in one of my coaching appointments. You know, one of the blessings of being able to do so many appointments with people is I get to talk to people, and I get to ask them questions so that I can better understand those personality types. I get to speak to the people all the time. And so when you do enough appointments with 9s and 4s and 2s, you really start to, understand in a more, wisdom way what it's like to live inside this personality type. So it's great to get information from the books and from videos, and all this is really good, very helpful. But, there's a whole another way to learn the Enneagram by just talking to people and just by trying to understand their experience. And I was talking to a young lady, just recently in the last couple of weeks, and I've talked to her a couple times, and beautiful person. I mean, just a fantastic person, because I always like to say healthy types are good types. People say, well, what kind of personality type's the best? Or which one should if I'm a 9, which one should I marry? If I'm a 3, which one should I marry? And you kind of feel like maybe there's this secret formula out there that certain types go together better than others. And I know when I've looked up that information on websites, at best, you're going to find conflicting answers. You're going to find one website that puts these two together, and then another website that says, oh no, it's these two that should be together. And I always say healthy people, balanced people, people that are self-aware, people that are aware of how they're coming across to others, and we can push against sometimes the autopilot of our personalities. Healthy types are the best types. And this is a really healthy 4, and just a deep, interesting, good person, just a good soul. And it was something she brought up, and I wanted to bring it up here with you guys, especially you 4s, to think about this, or you guys that do coaching, just to think about this concept. And what she was talking about was how Enneagram type 4s, and also my son had mentioned this, he's a 5, and he's kind of a 4 whisperer. I don't know what it is, but being a 5-wing 4, he'll just seem to attract these 4s and have extremely pleasant conversations with them. And sometimes very withdrawn people, and he's kind of withdrawn himself, and I always call him the 4 whisperer. Anyway, so he mentioned this. I mentioned it to her. I'm kind of getting convoluted here. Okay, let me tell you the process. It's something my son Harrison brought up. I mentioned it to this young lady who's a 4, and she confirmed it, and then she started giving me examples of it. Now, here's the point that my son had mentioned, is that 4s, in their desire to be true to themselves, sometimes become true to their identity while forgetting themselves or while losing themselves. And when I heard that, I said, let me think about that. I was like, tell me more what you mean. And he said, well, it just seems like sometimes 4s get so committed to their identity, whatever that is, and being true to that identity they've created or established, that sometimes they might fail to actually be true to themselves by trying to be true to their own identity. Now, I imagine some of you guys are lost when you hear that. Like, what are you talking about? How can you be true to yourself, your identity? Blah, I don't understand. This Enneagram thing, oh my goodness. Okay, well, if you're a 4, maybe you picked up immediately on what was being said. So I shared that idea with a 4, and I said, what do you think about that? Does that make sense to you? What's your response to this? And she said, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And she gave me an example. She said when she was a teenager, there was some kids in school that were kind of bullies. And she says, I don't have any idea what their types were. Maybe they were 3s or 8s or whatever, or sevens, who knows? But she said, I just knew watching them like pick on other people because they didn't have money, they didn't wear the right brands, they couldn't do all the things that these kids could do. And she said, I noticed that they would just like pick on and make fun of and tease and belittle the other students. And she said they all kind of wore the same clothes, they all kind of did the same things. And she said, as a 4, I didn't want any part of that. Like, I didn't want to in any way be associated with that. Like, I wanted to differentiate myself away from those popular kids that were brutalizing all the other kids. And so she said, I noticed what they were wearing and how they looked and what they did and the music they listened to. And she said, I did the opposite of all that. So I went like kind of deep grunge, which I know is kind of stereotypical when you think of, when we who are not 4s think of them that are 4s. We kind of think, oh yeah, well obviously, the green hair and the tattoos and the eyeliner and the piercings and the gauges. I know that's very stereotypical, and some of you guys are pulling your eyes out right now. Tom, please don't stop. You're making a fool of yourself, which isn't a problem for me. Remember, I'm a 7, so being a fool goes with the territory, no problem. All right, so she said, I noticed that now I'm this kid that's wearing grunge jeans and Metallica shirts, and, I've got this look about me to differentiate myself away from those people that I didn't want to be associated with. I didn't want to be associated with those mean-spirited bullies, those tyrants. I didn't want to be associated with them. And so I, created an identity? Or latched on to an identity? Certainly presented an identity. And that's the part maybe that you're not aware of, or maybe you are aware of, is that you're presenting to the rest of us something. Always. We're always presenting something to the rest of the people. And so she was presenting this kind of grunge, this kind of like, angry, frustrated, disconnected, marginalized personality. She was like, she noticed people were treating me different. And she said, I really started to feel very misunderstood because people started really treating me different because of the way I looked, because of, the way I was dressing. I got to turn my computer down so it doesn't beep like that. Because of the way I looked and because of the way I was dressing and because of the presence that I gave off for people, it made people maybe look at me funny or walk around me and maybe not try to connect with me. And then she said one day, after I'd done this for some time had gone by, I don't remember what she said, how long it was, but one day she says, I looked in the mirror and I looked at myself and I thought, what am I doing? None of this really reflects me. She's just like looking at herself and she's like, I like puppies. I like puppies. I like kitty cats. That's what I like. But none of this that I'm wearing, none of this look that I've adopted, none of this identity I'm projecting and presenting to the world, none of it really reflects what I'm about as a person. And so she had one of those kind of, epiphanies, those waking up moments where she was like, I don't want to wear this stuff anymore. And then she started, wearing shirts with like puppy dogs on them. Because she's like, that's what I actually cared about. That's what I actually loved. I loved animals. And I'm attached to an identity that really isn't true to me. And I just thought that is so fascinating. I wonder if any of you guys as 4s, have had that similar experience, or maybe are having it now as you're hearing this video. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm doing that. So the idea that came to my mind was, I like men's fragrances. I know it's a stupid hobby, but I'm a stupid person. Okay, whatever. I said it. So I like men's fragrances. Actually, I like women's fragrances on my wife. I don't wear them, but, I like to smell her when she smells good. But anyway, too much information. All right. So imagine that you're a 4, okay? And you walk into a department store and you go up to a perfume counter. And hopefully the people will just leave you alone. Oh my goodness, I was in there the other day with my son and I was just kind of walking around to see what was new. And it was on a Saturday and it was busy and it's Orlando. I mean, it's packed. And there's like 10 representatives in the perfume counter. And they're all like chasing you like, sir, would you like to try this? Sir. Would you like to try this new fragrance, sir? And like, well, how can I help you? What would you like? What do you like? And I just kind of, I'm an extrovert. I like people, but I don't like people like pushing their products, right? I just kind of want to be left alone and, smell it and see if I like it. I don't want to, yeah, you got to buy that. And I was like, they're like, what would you like? What do you like? And I was like, I'd like to be left alone. And I said it. I leaned on my 8 a little bit. Felt awful, but I was like, I'd like to be left alone. All right. So imagine that you go into this perfume counter and let's just say they have 5 bottles. Okay. Let's make this really simple. 5 bottles of fragrance. Okay. So now let's say you don't know anything about fragrances. You don't know anything about what's popular, what's not popular. You can't tell your Lancoms from your Chanels, from your La Nuit de L'Hommes, from your Jean Paul Gaultiers. You can't tell any of that stuff. You just don't know any of it. It's a brand new world to you. You've never been interested in it. But all of a sudden, you hit this point in your life where you're like, I should smell better. I should smell better, and that means more than just deodorant. I should smell better. So you go into the fragrance counter and you pick up the first bottle and you smell it, you spray it on a test strip, and you're like, wow, this really smells good. I like this. This smells wonderful. Oh my goodness, it smells like I've opened up a cloud in heaven and the good Lord is smiling down on me and waving and saying, sunshine upon you. That's what it smells like. It smells that good, okay? Which, by the way, it's called Baccarat Rouge. There's a lot of different spin-offs of it, but you should try it if you haven't tried it yet. It literally smells like heaven. It's fantastic. Like cotton candy mixed with heaven. Baccarat Rouge. Try the X-Straight version. Okay, just free information. It's a unisex fragrance, but it smells fantastic on my wife. Okay, it's expensive, so I would encourage you to pick up a cheaper version. You can find them all over the place. Okay, just knockoff versions, but I'm not going to advertise those. Anyway, so let's say you smell that first fragrance and you're like, oh my goodness, this is so fantastic. I love it. I should buy it right now. But, to be fair, I should probably smell these other 4 because I don't want to miss out on something. There's a little bit of 7 for you. I don't want to miss out on it, so I got to try them all. So you smell the second one, you're like, yeah, that smells pretty good. It kind of smells like cinnamon toast and pancakes, but I don't know that I really want to smell like, the Yankee Candle Store. So I'll put that one down. You pick up number 3 and you're like, kind of smells like ocean. Wait a minute, I think there's a little bit of fish in there. Okay, yeah, that's not going to work. I like that beach smell, but I don't like that seaweed smell. So you put that one down. You pick up the third one or the fourth one and you're like, I'm pretty sure that smells like celery and burnt tires. Okay, not going to get that one. And you pick up number 5 and you're like, wow, that's different. Oh, wow. That's a little bit off-putting, a little animalistic. What's the name of this? Oh, muskox. Muskox? Really? So you set that one down. Okay, now the perfume lady comes over and they're like, hey, can I help you find anything? What kind of fragrance are you looking for? Because that's exactly how they talk. And you say, well, I really like this first one. This, God smiling down on me, heavenly wave smell. This smells fantastic. This is so wonderful. This cloud of divine goodness. And the sales lady says, oh yeah, that's our most popular fragrance. Yes, every teenage girl that comes in here and every middle-aged mom, I'm a mom, every mom that comes in, and actually every grandmama, every nana, every noonie, every Gigi, every one of them comes in and they all pick this fragrance. It's the most popular, the most sold. You literally smell it everywhere. You haven't been paying attention because you didn't care about fragrances, but now you hear that this one is the one everybody buys. Now, I want you to just think, if you're a 4, like what happens in that moment? Isn't there something, maybe there's not, but I think I understand. Isn't there something in your brain that says, well, then I can't buy that one? If that's the one everybody else is wearing, if that's the one that, every middle school girl, every high school girl, every sorority girl, every mom, every Nene, Gigi, Papa, Mama, every Nana wears this, well, I can't wear that. I can't go around smelling like everybody else. So I guess I'll just go ahead and pick, I'll pick the muskox. And I'm just going to buy muskox. And, that's just me. That's just who I am now. And it's like, I want you to think, but now maybe I'm over-exaggerating this experience. Maybe you've never had anything like this. I just want you to see that if you're not careful, you might be saying no to things that you actually enjoy, that you really like, that really connect with you. you might be moving away from things that would be more true to yourself because of your need to stay true to an identity. And that identity is, I can't be like everybody else. I've got to be different. I've got to be special. I've got to be unique. I can't just be like everybody else. If everybody's wearing that, or if everybody's smelling like that, if everybody's doing that, then I have to stand out in some way. Okay, but if you go back to the original moment when you smelled all 5 of these fragrances, which one did you like best? Which one did you enjoy the most? Which one resonated with you? Forget about everybody else. Remember the 2s, 3s, and 4s, they all kind of asked themselves, like, I know who I am because of what everybody else says. Well, what if you could forget that for a minute? Just which one of the 5 did you like the most? Forget what everybody else likes. Forget what everybody else thinks. Forget if you might blend into an abyss of humanity if you wear this fragrance and lose yourself. Just ask yourself, which one of these 5 fragrances did you like the most? Did you like muskox the most? Is that the one you like? Then by all means, smell like a muskox. I mean, if that's what you want, if that's what you liked the most, if that one you felt really, enhanced your personality in some way, or showcased and presented yourself in a way that others, would appreciate. If you are a muskox, then maybe you should smell like a muskox. But, if burnt tires and celery, if that is the one that you enjoyed the most, and you want people to think of you, and to also think of burnt tires and celery, then, and literally there are fragrances that smell like this, guys. If you go past the mall and you go into all the niche fragrances, you'll find all kinds of smells, and they cost 3 times more to smell like that. It's an insane business, but I don't know, people buy them. So I guess I'm just saying, I want to challenge you. First of all, I want to just let you know I'm on your side. I'm on your team, okay? And I'm for you, 100% for you. And I don't want to be preachy at you. I'm not a 1, okay? I'm a 7. I'm right there next to you. You're probably an INFP, and I'm an ENFP. So we're really close in Myers-Briggs, chances are. And, there's a lot that I don't have any line to 4 because 7s and 4s can agree about a lot of things. But that being said, just challenge yourself. Like, is it okay for me to like things if everybody else likes it? Is it okay? Is it okay for me to love Mexican food even though everybody loves Mexican food? Is it okay for me to go to Kohl's and Target and Walmart to buy clothes? Is that okay? Or do I have to go to the vintage store? Do I have to go to that out-of-the-way obscure little shop, on the corner of Mayberry and Elm? Do you have to? What if you just liked the clothes at Kohl's? I mean, is it okay for you to just be true to yourself? Or do you have to be true to this identity that you've created? Okay, well, I hope that helped you. Maybe you've already thought about all this and you're like, oh, Tom, this is so passé. This is so pedestrian. I've already thought about all this. I wish you would study and bring something new and interesting to us. But, I thought it was interesting, and I thought it was worth making a video about and at least challenging you over it. If you want to be true to yourself, then be true to yourself. And if you like it, why does everybody else, why can't everybody else like it too? Okay? All right. So that's all I got. I hope that's helpful. I hope that's encouraging. And until I see you next time, be present to life. Don't miss the life that's right in front of you. For the life as it should be. It should be so much better. I heard a quote today from, I think it was Marcus Aurelius. I was watching a video on Stoicism. So interesting. I'm not a Stoic. Remember, 7s are called Epicureans, which is the opposite of Stoics. But I can appreciate it, and I need to listen to more of that Stoic wisdom. But this quote from Marcus Aurelius was, let's see if I can remember it. It was something like, everybody can be happy today, but most of us choose tomorrow. Interesting. Something like that. Every one of us could be happy today, but most of us choose tomorrow. Being present to life means accepting life and agreeing with life, even though you might not like everything that's going on in your life. And it might be very difficult for you now, and you might be really going through a lot of pain, a lot of troubles, a lot of problems. I get it. The world's filled with it, right? We are broken people in a broken world. All right. I get it. But dreaming about the life we want and not being present or content or satisfied in the life as it is not the real path to happiness. and joy. And ultimately, as a 7, that's what I want, is happiness and joy. I want to bring that into the world. So I hope to bring you some joy today by challenging you to ask yourself, am I really being true to myself, or am I being true to this image? Oh, there's a 3 word, isn't it? And 4s, I think, struggle with this too in their own way. Am I being true to an image that I'm presenting, a personality, rather than myself? Just a thought. All right. See you guys next time. Take care. Be present to life.